Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's bullshit, but we can't take no chances. Gfanatic 94 is not giving any of those communist cunts at YouTube the chance to fuck him over. So unfortunately, if you're under the age of 18, you gotta get out of here. Don't worry. We're gonna fight this war. But we need an army to do so.
The realm of anime. Surely Godzilla will be able to do good here. I mean, a lot of his stories are weird and fun to tell, so anime's perfect for him, right? Well, I mean, the first movie wasn't bad, but oh boy. Alright, and out of the frying pan and into the fire. Are you ready, good sir, to take a look at Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters? Or, as it's also known, Godzilla Monster Planet. Seriously, with the fucking name shit again? God damn it!
Monster Planet. I'm not sure about that because I fucking only see two different monsters.
Yep.
Fucking. Oh,
False
God.
advertising.
Yes, false advertising at its finest, besides the whole Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 poster.
Yeah. Alrighty, Noah. So, yeah. Godzilla Monster Planet. First of all, this movie, was the first in a trilogy of films that was initially planned from the start to be a trilogy. And yeah, this film, once again, it does not have many major, like, themes or anything behind it, except one. And that's the fact that at this point in time, a lot of people thought that Godzilla's stories and shit like that would be more suited to anime. And as such, well, naturally, Toho would try putting Godzilla into an anime sort of setting. And honestly, it didn't really work out in the next two movies, but in 2021.
It's just the kind of stories they used that was the problem. Or in a bit of execution.
Yeah.
Because Godzilla in anime, oh, that works. It would definitely fucking work.
Yeah, especially as we would see in 2021. But yeah, so with Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, we have essentially a mixture of two of Japan's most beloved sort of things. Anime and Godzilla. First of all, anime is just a part of Japanese fucking culture at this point. I mean, it's almost a religion to those people. And the same is true with Godzilla. And honestly, for all the good things that we can say about this movie, I mean, I don't really see a problem with that. And without further ado, would you like to list the cast?
We have Mamoru Miyano as Haruo Sakaki, adult voice, and we also have a bit of Aya Suzaki as the child voice. Because, yes, time. Next, we have Takahiro Sakurai as Metaphase. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw this character, I thought he was a chick.
Everyone did, bro. Everyone did.
Anyways, and then we got Tomakuza Sugita as Martin Lazari. Sounds like a lasagna. Junichi Siwabe as Mulu Elu Galugu. The fuck?
Don't question it, bro.
Character.
Don't question it. No, don't question it.
Kansei Miyake as Rilu Elu Belu Be. Oh god. Then Kana Hanazawa as Yukotani. An easier name. Yuki Kaji as Adam Bindwald. Bindwalder. Daisuke Ono as Elioto Lalande. Kenyu Horiuchi as Humberto Mori. Umberto. That's a fucking Spanish name. Kazuya Naki as oh god, it's another one. Halu Elu Dolu Do. Halu Elu Dolu Do.
It's probably worth mentioning that a lot of these characters are aliens, and that's why their names are weird.
Yeah.
Continue.
We then lastly have the last important cast member, Kazuhiro Yamaji as Interv. Interview. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah. So yeah, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters is definitely one of the more intriguing, and as we said in the last review, the Godzilla anime trilogy is actually one of the more controversial series in the franchise. And as such, obviously there's going to be people who disagree with everything we say just to be bitches. That being said, let's get into the brief rundown of this movie. So once again, this is another reboot, and once again, the original events of the 1954 film are actually not a thing in this movie. However, to the brief rundown. Mankind is under siege. For centuries, giant monsters have ravaged the world and destroyed everything in their path. After some time, mankind has learned how to defeat these monsters or run them off with the help of two different alien species, the Exif and Biwa Saludo?
Bella Saludo, I believe.
Okay, we'll go with that. And, yeah. Basically, they have worked together for quite some time and have figured out how to combat the monsters and essentially take back control of their planet that they once controlled. However, one day, another new monster appeared, and it quickly established its dominance on Earth. Its name was Godzilla. For years, mankind tried and failed to stop the monster, but yep, there we go. And yeah, for years, mankind tried and failed to stop Godzilla and basically, essentially only pissed him off. And yeah, essentially it got to the point where mankind's numbers dwindled so low that they basically had to leave the entirety of the planet. I'm gonna call that into question because it seems to me as though this Godzilla's kind of a bitch, but you know, whatever. So yeah, humanity leaves for 20,000 years. And after trying and failing to colonize other planets, they realize that essentially their only option for survival is now to go back to Earth and face their once greatest foe, Godzilla, once more. And here's the thing. Godzilla is not only the biggest threat to humanity that they have to face once again, but thanks to a rogue individual on the planet named Haruo Sagaki, apparently they now all of a sudden have the information to destroy Godzilla because he spent 15 years in a prison cell and somehow figured out how to kill Godzilla by staring at an iPad all day.
I mean, it gives you a lot of time to think while you're not doing anything else, I guess.
Well, that's the thing, bro. If that's all it took, then how the hell did nobody else come up with this?
Because Haruo has a drive like none other, for he is. Yes,
Discount
the main
Aaron Yeager.
character.
I'm not kidding at all.
Okay, I can't disagree. I can't disagree there.
Yeah. So back to
Except this time, he don't turn into a titan as well, man.
nope. He just screams a lot and bitches when he loses.
Ah!
So yeah. Yeah, basically, Haruo Sagaki holds the keys to defeating Godzilla in his mind. So he thinks that with a team of, what was it, 100, 300 people, he can kill Godzilla. So now the entirety of humanity's fate rests on the shoulders of a insane man who thinks he can kill Godzilla and ends up making the whole situation worse. Don't you fucking love anime, Noah?
Oh yes, I do.
So yeah, yeah, that's the brief rundown of Godzilla Monster Planet, and I'm gonna be real honest with you, Noah. I'm gonna make an executive decision here and say we're talking about the human aspect first because I really got a lot to say about the monster action, and a lot of it is good, a lot of it is not good. Are you ready?
Well, let's get to it then.
Alright, so the human action. First of all, the human action is unfortunately easily the highlight of the film, seeing as how, well, basically the humans get all of the credit and all the, human interaction and all of the character development. Which actually is really confusing to me because this is Godzilla we're talking about and he's in an anime. Anime is one of the best known I don't want to say genres, but anime is one of the best known areas for character development, so why the hell don't they do that with Godzilla in any of these three movies? Stupid, but you know what? We'll just move on. And I will say, the human aspect of this film is pretty damn well done. All the characters and all of the actors bring their A game to the table, and they make damn sure that they execute their roles perfectly. There are some weak links, yes, but ultimately they end up getting killed in this film, and everyone else is able to move on to the next one. And yeah, bro, honestly, the only real thing I have an issue with when it comes to the human aspect, they're all pretty much wearing the exact same. They're all pretty much wearing the exact same spacesuit that has no real, color or life to it at all. Like, these things look boring as hell, and why the hell they chose to make these spacesuits so bland and, lifeless is kind
They
of
had to
dumb.
make mass production,
What?
and that was the easiest thought process. Here, have this space, and you just mass produce it in multiple models. There you go. Shouldn't take too much space, right, guys?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you're not allowed to paint anything on it because, that would confuse people in the audience too much. Uh, but yeah, that's
Hey,
really my only complaint. The characters are fine and they are rich with personality. It's just you can't really tell them apart half the time because their suits are so goddamn dumb. Now, that being said, Noah, do you want to talk about the monstro action?
actually, yes, because there's only one part of this entire movie where we get a fuckload of it, but then just completely forget about it.
For a film called Planet of the Monsters, you would think you would see, you know, more than 3 different monsters. And no, the opening where they show all sorts of kaiju attacking cities and shit in brief stills does not count because that's the opening of the film and we don't really get to see anything there. We do get to see some nice cameos of old monsters returning, including Dagara from the from the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy, but other than that, we don't really get shit. Um, and then there's the simple fact that, well, once the people get to the planet, they figure out that, hey, the whole damn ecosystem has basically been built around Godzilla, which introduces us to the first main antagonist of this film, the Servum.
Verbs.
Base. What?
Verbs.
Huh?
Herbs.
Yep. Basically, these things are miniature versions of Godzilla with wings. They have extremely thick hide, and they don't even have any special powers. All they really do is just fly around and eat people, and I mean, they look kind of interesting, but these don't really count as kaiju. I mean, they're interesting monsters, don't get me wrong. They just aren't really big enough to be that much of a threat.
Granted, the term kaiju is used for a lot of monster things, even some that are just barely bigger than humans.
Yeah.
So I guess you could still technically call them kaiju.
You could. Yeah,
Now that's
we'll
really
just
up
go
to
with
you.
that. But, everything has been built on this ecosystem around Godzilla, so where's Godzilla? Okay, a number of things to say about Godzilla. First of all, a lot of the design you see here is very much intentional. Um, he's basically made to look like this and given blue eyes because he's meant to mimic the look of a philosopher. And I mean, I get it, but why would you want Godzilla to look like a philosopher? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, and not only that, but we're going to talk about his particular body structure in the controversy section. But Noah,
Thick.
yeah. But Noah, quick question. Is it just me, or is this man shooting his atomic breath out his fucking nose?
Nah, man, he's just doing that Jiren thing where he just looks and random shit appears.
Yeah, that's no shit. Yeah, straight up, Godzilla's atomic breath in this is basically said to be a sort of laser beam that can shoot out of any point of his body, but he chooses to do it in front of his face to basically make it look as though it's coming out of his mouth. Which is really stupid, but whatever.
I mean,
Um,
kind of a new ability you could say, but still.
yeah. However, unfortunately, you can't really say that this particular 50-meter Godzilla by the name of Phileas actually has any personality. All he ever does is just walk and, well, shoot down a bunch of people. Um,
Well, actually, if you think about it, Phileas, he was just minding his own business. Then out of nowhere, the fuck are these things trying to kill me?
yeah. And yeah, I'm not blaming Phileas here. But what I am saying is, in the fight, it would have been nice to see Godzilla Phileas here essentially have some sort of personality when he's in the middle of the fight. But nope, best way to describe Godzilla Phileas in this is giant statue, pretty lies. And yeah, then there's the twist. See, they kill Godzilla Phileas. However, Phileas is basically a way to describe this as son. So where's the original Godzilla? Well, after 20,000 years of basically hyper-evolution, this motherfucker is 3,000 feet tall. And he erupts from the ground and shows off his power by absolutely annihilating everything in sight. And honestly, the way they ended the film was fantastic. I absolutely adore Godzilla Earth at the end of this film, and he's just a goddamn, yep, he's a fucking beast, bro. Just look at that thing.
He didn't even need to actually use his, well, quote unquote, atomic breath. He
Nope,
fucking
because they
roared.
introduced two new abilities for him. Apparently,
Yeah.
despite being that huge and that size, he can whip his tail at basically light speed and generate a freaking sonic slash atomic pulse that can literally cut mountains in half. Um, Shit, Noah. I mean, I'm not gonna question it. And then there's his other new ability, this sort of roar attack. For the longest time, I called this thing a sonic roar, and what the hell is this thing?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know either.
You know what, let's just be safe and call it sonic roar. Yeah, there you go.
At least he actually opens his mouth.
Yeah, that's no shit.
Real
But yeah,
type
bro,
breath.
Godzilla. There's not really much to talk about with Godzilla Earth in this movie because, frankly, he only appears for like the last 10 minutes of the film. But in that brief span of time, he shows a hell of a lot more personality than his son, than basically Phileas did, and he also shows a hell of a lot more power. Good God, Noah, how are they gonna beat this thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. They fucking don't.
Yeah. And now, before we get into who we would recommend this film to, Noah, we gotta cover the controversy section.
Yeah.
You see, this controversy basically goes like this. Everyone who watched this movie and everyone who is a massive Godzilla Earth fan, well, they say that simply because Godzilla Earth is the biggest Godzilla there is, everyone automatically says he's the strongest, and most of the people automatically say he's the strongest, and I would very much like to call that into question, because I don't know about you, Noah, but I can list 5 different Godzillas off the top of my head that can whoop this fat ass's ass.
Oh, speaking of fat, funny enough, he's only 100,000 tons.
Uh-huh.
And legendary Goji here, he's like 3 times smaller. He nearly weighs the exact same thing.
Yeah. I actually
I
didn't know
wanna
that.
fucking
Thank you, Noah.
yeah. And if we go back to legendary for a bit, the whole one of his comics, Goji literally picks up a monster which I will not name yet until we get into the other MonsterVerse movie, that weighs more than 100,000 tons.
Uh-huh.
And then if we go back to the Heisei era, to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, Goji picks up Mecha Goji, which is also more than 100,000 tons.
Indeed. But
And then
that's not
going
even...
to Final Wars, Kaisen Ghidorah is more than 100 tons, yet Goji yeeted the fuck out of him.
Multiple times, yeah.
But yeah, the other Goji can just pick him up and just eat him. But just because of that, does not mean he's weak at all. He's still a highly strong Goji.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
He's
he's a
just not
Godzilla.
strong.
It's kind of a requirement for you to be strong if you're a Godzilla, so...
At least in this era, he does literally designate himself as the ruler of the planet.
Yeah. But then, that brings me to the biggest controversy that I'm gonna bring up. Now, do you remember in 2014, when everybody was complaining about how fat Godzilla 2014 was? Why the fuck was nobody saying anything about this fat ass? God damn, dude, put down the Twinkies!
Oh god.
Jesus Christ! I mean, I get that Toho basically produced the Netflix series and trilogy, but that does not excuse the freaking shit that everyone was talking about 2014. 2014 wasn't even fat. And then all of a sudden this
He
thing
was
shows up.
fit.
What?
As though 2014 was not fat, he was fit.
Yeah. And then here comes this thing. And not only is he a lard ass that actually looks a hell of a lot worse in terms of weight than 2014, but this motherfucker looks like he could. he looks like he's never missed a cake convention in his life. And goddamn, I get that people didn't like 2014 for whatever reason, and I get that people liked this one because it was produced by Toho, but that does not give you the right to be as hypocritical as people were about this shit. Not one word was said about Godzilla Earth's weight, and not one word was said about how fat he was. That's bullshit, and I'm absolutely livid about that, bro.
Also, yes, this Goji is definitely probably one of the fattest looking there are. But we still have to point out that he does have some muscle.
He does.
And also his design. His design was definitely heavily inspired off trees.
Yeah, and plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically wanted to make Godzilla have that feeling in this movie of basically like a world tree. So, I mean, you did that right, but yeah, people who are claiming that this is the strongest Godzilla ever, get the fuck out of here. This thing is not the strongest Godzilla. It may be the strongest Godzilla in terms of this particular universe, but this is definitely not the strongest Godzilla, period. That's just dumb to claim that, because seriously, I'm pretty sure Showa Godzilla can kick this man's ass. Nevertheless, Noah, who would you recommend this film to?
Oh, since it's in... Actually, no, wait. Before we actually get to the recommendations, I want to talk about lore
Oh, yeah.
in this movie. Particularly, all the shit that happened in the opening scene. Not the movie, just the opening scene.
Yeah.
Because in, of course, proper Godzilla fashion, he just shows up and basically shits on everyone.
Uh-huh.
And killed multiple generations of other kaijus, but he did go into hibernation for a bit, even before the humans decided to go off world. Because he sensed Gorath. Yes, it's an act.
You're talking about the novels.
Yes, the lore.
Okay. I didn't know you were talking about the novels. All right, yeah, hell yeah. The novels released for this trilogy, they're actually really damn good.
But anyways, yeah. He sensed Gorath, so he just went into hibernation, stored up energy until the day finally came that he awoke. And basically said, you know what, instead of blue, I'm gonna go red.
Yes.
And shoots his red spiral heat ray, which fortunately we never saw in the movie.
Nope.
And destroyed Gorath, which is a nice little bit of lore there.
Yeah. And ultimately, bro, a lot of the stories that actually took place in those novels, I feel like they would have been better stories to tell than the stories we're getting in the actual anime. Not the Godzilla Monster Planet one, because this one is actually good, whereas the other two are a bit lackluster. Don't worry, we're going to be talking about the second one very intimately and how much I hate it. But that is in tomorrow's video. And Noah, who would you recommend this film to?
Well, since it's technically still anime, even though it's movies, honestly, anime fans would be down for this. And then going to the age-wise, a bit of older kids.
Alright.
Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Alrighty. Short and sweet and to the point. Nice. As for people I would recommend this film to, I'm gonna be real honest, man. I can't really in good conscience recommend sci-fi fans to this film. I can, but at the same time, it's an anime, so obviously sci-fi fans are gonna find plenty of things to complain about here. Obviously hardcore Godzilla fans, they're gonna love this movie, and they're gonna think that it's a joy to behold. And, well, as we did basically mention, discount Aaron Yeager, yeah. I personally believe as though Attack on Titan and anime fans would like this, film very much so, and honestly, I'm hesitant to say action fans, but definitely fans of alien films, because this is definitely one of the more, extraterrestrial-based, Godzilla films out there. And yeah, bro. I mean, that's just me though. And with that being said, Noah, let's go ahead and jump into tomorrow's video. Tomorrow we take a look at Godzilla, City on the Edge of Battle.
What is that? Oh, king of the monsters.
Alright, y'all know the drill. Like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Y'all want more videos, right? More kick-ass shit? Well, good, because I want more views. Let's help each other on this.